Hey guys, this is Derek. I'm in my house right now, and I have my beautiful wife behind. She's helping me with lighting and getting the video set up. Oh, and I have Cadence behind there too. That's one of my daughters. But yeah, we're in my house. I'm going to be doing, this is Wednesday in the Word on a Thursday. Just so you guys know, this is what we want to do is create a couple different live videos just to be able to just share from our heart just some of the things that are going on with us. So on Tuesday you guys probably saw Evan do the Tuesday training, and now for Wednesday we're going to be doing Wednesday in the Word. And we're going to try to do these live videos around 12:30. So I know you guys give us a lot of grace anyway. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, 12:30, right? Sorry I couldn't hop on yesterday. Just had some stuff come up. But that's just what we want to do is create kind of a rhythm, things that you guys can just anticipate what we'll be doing each week. And so for today, we're going to be doing, or for me, I'm tasked with doing just some things God has been showing me in His Word. And so before I go into what He's been showing me in His Word, I want to just share a quick story. And what it starts with is earlier in this whole quarantine that we had this huge storm that happened. And I live out on the prairie, and this is the second time it's happened, but our fence blew down, and not the same portion of fence, different fence, but yeah, it blew down, and it blew down in between us and our neighbor. And this, I was like, are you kidding me? You know, quarantine happened. We had an earthquake earlier. I mean, all of this stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't. I wasn't looking for another yard project to do. But yeah, it blew down in between us and our neighbors behind us. And so I was just kind of struggling with just, are you kidding me? Another thing. And so I was like, all right, well, let's get to it. So my neighbor, I got a hold of my neighbor behind us, and we just started looking at. So what ended up happening was these posts, these pressure treated 4x4s, end up breaking in half. Or not breaking in half. Rotted out at the base, and so the fence just pretty much collapsed. And so me and him were like, all right, should we just work on this together and not pay someone to come out? And we're like, yep, let's do that. And so we've been working on tearing out the old fence and putting a brand new fence in. And here's what was amazing, actually, from me, what God actually was like, here's what I wanted to do with breaking down this barrier. And I started to get to know not only my neighbor, the dude, but also his wife, and he has a daughter. And it's been so amazing being able to really meet him, to get to know his story, to get to know just more about who he is, what his interests are. And what's been really cool is a lot of those his interests have been the same interests that I have too. And so we've been able to talk through this, and one of the cool things with that he got to know I'm a pastor. I go to Real Life Ministries, and his wife goes to Real Life Ministries, which is really cool. But yeah, he's not a believer. And so I've been able to share just my testimony with him, things God's done in my life, and really being able to just share not only my who I am and the gospel, but also just peace in this time. So much uncertainty, so much going on, and and just going, this is the hope I have. So that being said, that's my story, and yeah, the crux for me was really God breaking down barriers. Breaking down barriers, and what does that mean or look like? And so in this season, I was going through, of course, right, the crucifixion, for Easter, going through the resurrection and everything else. But I wanted to highlight one thing in breaking barriers that really stuck out to me, and that's in Matthew 27, that's 50 and 51, and this is what it says. And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. And behold, the curtain of the temple was torn in two. The curtain of the temple was torn in two. From top to bottom, the earth shook and the rocks split. And really, so the curtain was that separation between the Holy of Holies. And so, man, I would highly encourage you to read more into the temple, how it was made and everything else, and even what the Holy of Holies was. But really, what Christ's work did on the cross was he removed a barrier between us Gentiles, me, with the Father, and now he sees me as his son, and so he broke down that barrier. God is in the business of breaking down barriers, and so not only that, but we also see in Hebrews 6:19, and I think this really comes to that aspect of hope. We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain. That's behind that curtain that was split in two, that we can, through Christ, have that relationship with the Father. And how amazing is that during this time that we can have that hope, right? When the world is hopeless, when the world is figuring out what is going on, where am I going to turn for peace, for that anchor, right? In that instability, and that is something that we have. And so one of the songs that really absolutely love, I love it actually more so when either I hear Jeremy singing this, or Aaron Short sing this, but that's Reckless Love. And that there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Right? Our God is in the business of breaking barriers. Right? And here's the command we have, right? And that is in Matthew 22. And right, it's there's the aspect, right? We love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, right? But here's the thing that God showed me with my neighbor as he ordained my fence coming down. And that's, I do believe that in me getting to know my neighbor in a season. It was furthest from my mind, in a season that I'm one of those people I'm not really good at getting to know my neighbors. And so because of that, God, I believe, literally broke down my fence that that barrier might be removed, and I might be able to get to know this family. But going back to Matthew 22 says, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, right? And so for me, that I would not only get to know my neighbor, but show that love, show that peace, show that hope. And so I want to leave you guys with this. A question. Let me pull that back up. A question, or a couple questions actually, and you guys can just comment down below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. But here's the two questions. Are there walls in your heart God has been breaking down or challenging you with during this time? So let me ask that, or I'll say it one more time. Are there walls in your heart God has has been breaking down or challenging you with during this time. Right? Those walls, it might be walls that you've been putting up with God. It might be walls you've been putting up with, it's not only your neighbors, but maybe a family member, maybe a spouse, kids, co-worker, right? What are those walls he's been showing you? Or maybe he's been breaking those down. Man, I'd love to hear some praise stories out of this too. And here's that second question. How has God broken down some barriers you've had with him or others in this season? So maybe this has already happened with you. I'd love to hear those stories too. So anyway, those are the two questions I have. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. And even if you guys do watch this later, I'd love to still hear from you. I'll be in the comment section too. Just wanting to just interact with you guys. I definitely miss all of you. And this is one way, hopefully, we can just remain connected as we just shepherd our people together. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.